Hello and welcome. I am Manasi, Phadke, Deputy Editor with ThePrint, and I have with me Mr. Milind Deora, former MP from Mumbai South constituency and current Rajya Sabha MP, who has thrown his hat in the ring in a battle that is being described as a high-stakes contest because he'll be taking on incumbent MLA of Worli constituency, Aaditya Thackeray. So in a way, it's a contest between two scions of families that have shaped Mumbai's politics, the Deoras and the Thackerays. What would you offer Worli that's different from what Mr. Aditya Thackeray is talking about?
To start with, I think that he made a lot of promises, lofty promises 5 years ago, which have not been honored, not been delivered upon. People had very high expectations from him that he was the first member of this family to fight an election, which was a tradition his grandfather chose to stay away from. And when he came to South Mumbai, as someone who's been a South Mumbai MP, this year, works here, even though we were in opposition camps, I couldn't deny that I was not excited. I thought there's really a lot that he would do for the area. I thought that he would do a lot for Mumbai or Maharashtra. As a young man, I know him quite well. A progressive young boy, I would say. Unfortunately, the kind of politics that he's been doing, not just locally, but in Mumbai and Maharashtra, which is essentially opposing for the sake of opposing. I think this is something which has hurt the city and state very badly. The biggest difference I think that we're offering in Worli is that we will be more accessible to the people. We will not outsource the politics to two other emirates or to corporators from the area. But when you get elected, you cannot just say that I'm elected by outsourcing. You have to be personally available. Today, for instance, you correctly mentioned, I remember that. Rajya Sabha technically doesn't have constituency. I remain and is accessible as available for the people of South Mumbai, as I was when it was a Lok Sabha. So these are commitments which I think override and transcend posts. As these are commitments which once you've committed to a constituency, you have to be with them whether you're in power or not.
So in 2019, for their last Lok Sabha election, there was a very interesting and different campaign that was done because you got industrialists like Mukesh Ambani, Ambani Kotak, even smaller businessmen and shopkeepers to endorse you. In a day and age when politicians are increasingly being judged in a way for having any kind of bonds, relations, links with industrialists. Your campaign stood out as different. Firstly, why do you think the politicians hesitant to come out with their relationships with industrialists or businessmen? What is it that makes you different and stand out and talk about it?
I have no idea why other politicians would be hesitant. I think that the only reason I can think someone would be hesitant to hide their relations is because they have something to hide. If you have nothing to hide, there's nothing to be conscious of, number one. Number two, look, this is Mumbai city. And South Mumbai is the economic nerve center of Mumbai, Maharashtra, and India. You can't help that in any politician, wherever you work, wherever you live, and wherever you fight elections from, you always reach out to prominent people in that constituency. So that's rule number one of politics, of electoral politics. And in some cases, it might be an important farmer association leader. In a city like Mumbai, and especially in South Mumbai, prominent leaders of this constituency are business leaders, they are entertainers, they are other people who shape the responsibilities. So you can't, if you're not actively engaging with this community, publicly engaging with them, you're not doing your job as a politician. If you're not able to build public-private partnerships for the larger good of the community, you're not doing your job as a politician, in my opinion. And my late father was very, very comfortable doing that also. He was a vice president of the Phadke Department. He brought, at that time, I think in 96, He brought Bill Gates, before the Bill Gates, Melinda Gates Foundation even set up, who donated almost $6 million at that time to providing free computer literacy to people in Mumbai and India. He always worked, and so have I, with the private sector. I have social events that benefit the most underprivileged sections, whether it's ICAMs, whether we run a football tournament, which attracts children from municipal schools. We send the best paid children to London every year to train with the global teams. Which is the way you use these relations, in my opinion.
Right.
You're not using them for your own personal gain, you're using them for the community, for community upliftment. And people are also willing to do that. As community leaders, business leaders also have CSR funds. They also want to give back. And they do give back, let's say, to the area where they have, for example, a factory.
Right.
So if Tata has a factory in Rajya or its husband, they will give back there. But they also want to give back to the area where their management lives, we work out, and where their company is headquartered. And so I think these are, I wouldn't know why others are, but everyone has relations with everyone. It's a reality. Some are ashamed, some are for the wrong reasons, I believe, and others have no problem openly accepting that they have these risks.
So in the same breath, let's talk about the Dharavi reusability budget. The opposition, Shiksena UBT, we are contesting against here. We have gone on record saying that if we come to power, we scrap the current tender. Do you think the problem is with the project or with the developer, with the way it's Adani Group?
I think their problem is with the developer. There seems to be there's an unspoken rule, I know, we agree around, but it's to oppose anything that a few business leaders do. And I know what the strategy was in one particular party of the MBA for obvious reasons. That the aim was to try to create a narrative that of rich versus poor. And in my opinion, those things don't work, because a lot of those are built on innuendos, conspiracy theories, lies of them. And I always warned my Australian party not to do those things. They didn't work in the US, for instance. He did not work the 3 consecutive elections in India. But there seems to be a fascination with that idea, where if we have certain few people, then the others, another section of society will think that we're doing a good job, and that's not how it works. So I think the problem is with the developer. But that's unfortunate, because if we don't like the developer, change the developer, bring in the developer, make the government do it. It's not that the government doesn't have the ability to do certain things. But don't deprive 2+ lakh people from getting a home. I remember the former MD of the area, Eknath Shinde, who was a colleague of mine in 2004, was in Parliament. We worked very hard to get the Dharavi redevelopment project started. I mean, now just for petty politics, because developer A has won the contract, just opposing for the sake of opposing. The fact that a project like that has not happened in so many decades is because if you don't give proper incentives to a developer, you will not incentivize them to do that. And every public-private partnership in Mumbai, whether it's slum rehabilitation, whether it's job redevelopment, ultimately works on public-private partnership, where you're giving some degree of incentive to a developer to take on that development. That's the nature of this redevelopment plan. And it's been relatively successful around the country. A lot of state governments come to Mumbai to study out with very few plans, schemes like this in the country. I remember Sheila Dikshit, when she was Chief Minister of Delhi, she came to Mumbai to study ISRA plan. And so you have to give incentives. Are those incentives excessive? You can debate that. Are those incentives not enough? You can debate that. But just because you have a problem with one particular person, you are trying to deprive 2+ lakh people from getting a home in the heart of the city. Very unfortunate. And it's unfortunate because I've seen when tourists come from overseas, the first thing they want to do is they want to go to Dharavi, they want to go to some restaurant here, and then one of the places from a tourist point of view is Dharavi. That's good. But why are you depriving those people the right to home? Why are you spreading fear? And I sense that there seems to be a fear psychosis that is being perpetuated in Mumbai and Rajya. where people are very opposition, and especially with my opponent from Worli. He has a certain speed breaker mentality where for speed particular issues, he just wants to put a speed breaker in spread here.
So you have been very well acquainted with the Thackeray family and with Bal Thackerays ideology. What gives you the confidence that a leader like Eknath Shinde is being able to follow and deliver on that ideology better than the Thackeray?
So I've had as a child, I've grown up, I've had the privilege of knowing Bal Thackeray. I would say personally, I think the privilege of talking to him, meeting him many times. Their father enjoyed a very close relationship with him. In fact, he supported my late father to come here in 1976.
Yes.
And he had a very, very close relationship with my father. He would, in fact, joke a lot with my mother, my father was Marathi, and would often joke tell us that, follow your mother. And first thing, this battle is very personal. When you started your comments, it's about Thackeray Deora. I don't see anything personal in this. And I've never made politics personal. When I defeated Jagandeep at the age of 27 in my first election, I still had a very good relation. I would go to her. She would come home to meet my father. My father and her were coordinators together. When I defeated Dharavi, it was the longest serving MP, one of the longest along with my father of Mumbai. And he won 5 executive terms and then I repeated in 6th election. Very, very close relationship personally. So I don't see this as a personal battle. I can see it as a political battle. I'm willing to concede that. I'm willing to concede that we want to do something for this area. And I genuinely believe that this area has been ignored, taken for granted. As far as Mr. Shinde goes, look, I really believe in good people, in good ideas, in someone who wants to work. And he's someone who I've seen who is committed to doing things. He invited me to join him because he wanted me to help him take Mumbai forward, take Maharashtra forward, help with the economic agenda of the city, of the state. These are things I like doing. These are my strengths. That's why I entered politics. I entered politics to tweet and make statements and play the role of a political hack. That's part of the job profile, but you ultimately are in it to do something constructive. Yeah. And I think I reached a stage, especially in my earlier party, where I just didn't feel, I don't think that the party was in the frame of mind where it wasn't moved to do something constructive. Its whole focus was speak negatively about the opposition. I hope that if I keep beating them down, people will see me as sort of. And that works maybe for some time, but ultimately people also want to know what you have to offer. And at one point I really realized that there's very little that they're able to come up with that they can offer the public. And so various things led to this. As I said, there's no right. There's a right time, there's a right place, the right person, and it all came together, and that's how things happen.
Yeah, but in terms of Bal Thackerays ideology, what is it that Eknath Shinde is doing differently as compared to the Thackeray for him to say what they are the real legatees of Bal Thackeray?
Well, to start with, as I said, we had a very close relation with Bal Thackeray at personal level, and I knew where he stood up with regards to the Congress party. It's very, very clear, publicly, privately, what he thought of the party. Not very highly of my father personally, but he thought very, very poorly of the Congress party. I know what the Congress party today thinks of UBT. I know what they thought of that the leaders of the party in 2019, what they think of them now. I know why the alliance happened in 2019. I know why it's happened now. There's no organic feeling of we're drawn to each other on ideological issues or on even personal issues. For example, a Congress and a DMK, there's a very different relationship. There's a personal relationship, there's ideological views. There's none of that here. So, in that sense, if you're asking me from an ideological perspective, certainly Mr. Shinde has not deviated from what Baba said wanted. Today I really believe that, you may like them or dislike them, you may agree or disagree. But the only two parties in the state that really have stood up for their ideology and have not compromised are Shiv Sena and Mr. Shinde and the BJP.
So, you spoke about your former party in the Lok Sabha election. It bounced back and how it emerged as the single largest party in Maharashtra. Do you think the Congress did anything differently? Do you think the momentum continued this election?
Well, the momentum, was very different in the Lok Sabha as compared to what it is now. Again, in the Lok Sabha, there was a huge narrative which was spread by the opposition that if Modi ji becomes Prime Minister, Constitution will be changed. And those things have been debunked even after Haryana. I think it was tried in Haryana as well. Constitution was being debated about, and that didn't really lead to the results. So, I think you can ultimately sell something on. Fear psychosis is a very short-lived political strategy, in my opinion. You have to, you can certainly warn voters, and that can be in the area of warning them, making them afraid. But if you don't have a constructive plan, it does not work. And let's say the scheme, the vertical inversion scheme, the opposition opposed it immediately. They said they're trying to buy voters for 1,500 rupees. We're going to scrap it. They went to court. Now they've come back and said in their manifesto, we make it 3,000 rupees. So it sounds ridiculous. And because at one level, either you're opposed to it, you be opposed to it and take what comes with it. Or you say, I'm for it and I'm going to extend it and expand now. Can't do both either at the same time. And that's what happened. So I think that, I don't believe that narrative of Lok Sabha will again will cancel. I think that there's a lot of projects which have come on stream as well in the last few months. So I'm very hopeful and confident that things will go.
Another narrative as well of Maharashtra losing projects to Gujarat, investment to Gujarat. You've sort of seen all of this firsthand because you also went to Davos with Mr. Eknath Shinde. Where does Maharashtra really stand, Vijay?
Yes, there was a move away from people who were looking at other alternatives, and there are many reasons for it. I think that Maharashtra has come back in terms of the mind space of investors. We were number 2 in terms of attracting FDI in India. Until a few years ago, we're back to number 1. Last year, almost 52% of FDI that came to India came to Maharashtra. And I think that people are understanding that infrastructure is growing at fast pace. Government is wanting people to come in, invest very quickly. Again, there's in the same way that I think there's a huge difference between NDA and UPA. In UPA, there was confusing signals being sent to investors. The Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, gave green clearance to the Mumbai. Soon after, he gave green clearance as Environment Minister. Someone who was Environment Ministry overturned the Prime Minister's decision. Conflicting signals. As a result, investors said, we're not going to invest in India. That led to a bank crisis. People fled. And that came back. People saw consistency among within the government. That's happening again over here. In the past, you had all kinds of things. You had police officer going planting bombs outside homes of industrialists, chief minister giving them free chips, saying don't compare them close up and nothing. You had people, the argument is center isn't giving the state. Center proposed a refinery, people opposed that. Center proposed the largest port in the country, but haven't opposed that. Largest nuclear power plant in the world opposed that. Metro, which is partly funded by the center, opposed that. So if you oppose every project, you can't expect people to want to come and invest in instant, whether it's the government of India or whether it's private sector. I think that now has been done away with. There's clarity over here that no, we want to take the state forward, we want to take the city forward. We do want to balance environment also. We don't just want to say do it without. But just this opposition for the sake of opposition, and I know exactly what he's doing. In many ways, he's doing what the Congress did for 10 years, which is just your personal dislike for one individual means dislike anything good that they do.
So you're now entering state politics. Would you have chief ministerial ambitions going forward?
Not at all.
Not at all. All right, we'll end on that note. Thank you so much.
Thank you.